Listen, I don't know if it's just me, but I've been watching the Bel Air series, and not. I'm just saying, like in its whole totality, like because they got a new season coming out. I think in what November 24th. I want to say. I may be wrong, but I've been watching the all the way up season one, and Keith Powers. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like Keith Powers would have probably been a better fit as a Will Smith for the Bel Air. And I feel like the other guy who has acting, he has acting range, and he does a good job. But I feel like it would have been more, of a selling point if Keith Powers was to play, the Fresh Prince on the Bel Air series. And the reason why I say that is because Keith Powers also has range, but I feel like as far as the character and how he can like draw in and do a deep dive and like have more of like of a basketball like element because Will played basketball. I feel like Keith would have been more of a fit for when it comes down to athletic ability and as well as like I said, as well as like drawing into the character of the Bel Air. I feel like he would have pulled that off a little bit more smoother, just based off of just how the way Keith carries himself and how he's able to whatever character that he plays, it just seems like as if like it just fits him. It just fit him, based off of what he can bring to the table with his talents, But as far as the emotional and the crying and the bug-eyed tears, the guy who playing Bel Air, as Will in the Bel Air season, he does a great job with that. So I don't know if they went off just, emotional, being seen who could be able to cry the hardest. Because it seemed like he probably got that down packed. But as far as overall, me personally, it would have made more sense if they would have went with Keith Powers. Because, I mean, how many damn emotional scenes do you need when somebody have to cry their eyes out? I mean, people be emotional, but they don't always have to resort to, eyes being watery and, tears about to, fall out like they about to. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to always get that severe with it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know what went like. How did that not come about? I don't know if Keith auditioned, but I just didn't understand that. I didn't understand like because that's the first thing I thought when I thought of Bel Air. I was thinking like as far as like acting wise goes, Keith Powers. Yeah, he finna get this. Bel Air, he an actor, and he be having like the little, flat top, little high top, kind of like look with the fade a little bit. Like, yeah, definitely like, he definitely finna get that. And when I saw it, I was like, who is this guy? I never seen him a day in my life. He can act, don't get me wrong, but I was like, who this bug-eyed boy is? Where he come from? It just threw me off until I seen him acting. I was like, okay, it makes sense. But, but I feel honestly that some of as far as like the script and how the way some words were said, I don't feel like Will would have said them like that. I feel like the guy who's playing as Will in the Bel Air series, I feel like his word pattern and how the way he talks, it isn't Philly. I feel like it's a little bit too much of articulate. He's a little bit too articulate spoken. I mean, it doesn't give Philadelphia when I hear him speak. And I feel like Keith would have knocked that out the park as far as the Philly accent and just the acting and just the swag. Overall, Keith Powers would have knocked that out the park. It would have been more of a selling point of him playing as Will Smith as the Fresh Prince of Bel Air in the Bel Air series. That dude is way too articulate. He's speaking like he's reading from the page. how Clay speak out like, this dude doesn't give Will. He doesn't give Phil. Hey, yo, Carlton. I mean, let's do the Uncle Phil. I expect Carlton to talk that clearly. I mean, not Will. You know, ain't how the way Will talk. You're like, oh! No, he be like acting goofy. Like, he be like, you know, like, yeah, get a little groovy, yeah. Will be talking like that, you know, with the little accent, southern, like, twang. The dude, like, so articulate as well. I'm like, no, man. I'm just surprised I made it this far. If it wasn't for the drama and just things that, you know, as far as like with Will Pops and all that, with that situation, him not seeing his dad in so long, his dad coming back in his life, like with that and then Jeffrey, excuse me, y'all. Talking too fast. But with the situation with Jeffrey, we don't know what Jeffrey really got going on. If Jeffrey was really selling them things on the low, selling them drugs on the low. But it wasn't that. I mean, if it wasn't for the dark periods of the kind of like the dark areas of the Bel Air, we never was accustomed of seeing, because we used to seeing Bel Air on TV. But if it wasn't for those dark moments, and which brings it to the dramatics of the show, I wouldn't still be watching, because honestly, I felt like that was the wrong, like the character that it wasn't. I didn't feel like it was Will Smith that I was watching. I didn't feel like it was the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, you know? So that's why I say that, you know, Keith Powell was like, with that whole, like the whole style and just Philly accent and how the way he speaks and how he carries himself, I feel like with Keith Powers being an actor, like, that's something that I feel, honestly, that would have been not a hard thing at all for him to pull off. It would be like a natural, you know, move for him to be able to, you know, do that, because I feel like he has that, you know. I was seeing him on New Edition and how he pulled that off. It's like, man, like, yeah, how did they miss the marking point with that? Right? Because, I mean, like, who want to hear Will Smith, a knockoff Will Smith, speaking so damn articulately like he in a damn, I don't know, like he in some sort of type of private school. Like, he didn't give public school at all. I mean, which Will didn't on the Fresh Prince of Bel Air go to the public school when he moved out to California. But Will always had a regular ghetto type of southern twang, you know, and how the way he spoke. It didn't sound like he was trying to, you know, read something off from a book report. So, yeah. Keith Powers versus this guy, I feel like it should have went to Keith Powers based off of the things that I listed. And honestly, they missed the real. They missed out on that one. Like, seriously, because Keith has range and he would be able to pull it off better, and it would have sounded like Will Smith. How the way he carried it and how the way he would have bodied that all the way to the T, movements and all. Just my take on the situation. I've been wanting to do this video ever since this is the last season, and it will be no more Bel Air. I feel like it's only right for me to drop this video before the season, you know, premieres. I think, like I said, in November sometime. And y'all can just let me know what y'all think. Y'all know, familiar with Keith Powers' New Edition story, him playing Ronnie. And let me know if y'all seen Bel Air. Y'all seen any Keith Powers films or anything, TV shows that he been, you know, starring in with New Edition, like being the biggest. You can let me know yourself if you're familiar with his resume. Because honestly, yeah. But hey, we don't know how to politic that, you know, being involved, if that was a particular reason, or I don't know. But if Keith Powers was there, I feel like it, you know, I don't want to be far-fetched, but this probably wouldn't have been the last season. Not saying he's the reason at all, but I'm just saying, like, you just got to think about certain things. Of, you know, you got to just think. You got to just think about what would make you feel if you were to watch Bel Air. From what you've seen, or if you've seen any episodes, when you saw that, did you see Will Smith? Based off the, just the characteristics of the character and how he sounded. Did it give Philly? I'm just asking. Sincere Reality TV. Like and subscribe. I'll let y'all on the next tip. Y'all be good. I love. Peace.